Hi, my name is Diana and I am a Canva verified expert. Welcome to our channel where you can learn everything about Canva. In this video, I have 11 new tips that will help you get the most out of Canva. I'll share new apps, new features, and hidden tools that you probably haven't seen yet. Also, at the end, I will share another video with more tips and tricks that you are going to love. Let's start with tip number 1. I'm gonna show you a simple trick that will allow you to add gradients to your shapes and lines. This is pretty simple and it is completely free to use. Actually, all the tips that I'm gonna share today in this video are completely free. Let's start by adding a simple shape to our document. So let's go to Elements and you can select any of the shapes under this category. So I'm gonna click See All, and from here I'm gonna choose a heart, and I'm also going to add a line. So let me select this line right here, and now select the shape that you want to add a gradient to and then go to the section color. From here you can scroll down and you will see that there is a section called gradients. You can select any of these options here. I'm gonna go for this one, and then if you want to customize this gradient you can go up and select the plus icon. From here you can change the colors on the gradient, you can add more colors if you want, and then you can select from these different styles right here. Now let me show you how to do it with lines. I'm gonna select this line right here and then selecting line color, and you're gonna do the same. You can scroll down until you see the gradients section and select one of these gradients, and then if you want to customize further this gradient you will do the same steps. You're gonna go to the plus icon, and then from here you can play around with the colors in the gradient and select a different style if you want. This simple trick can really help your designs stand out and look more aesthetic. Now let me do a quick parenthesis here, because if you are interested in learning more about Canva with us, click the join button so you can learn more about our membership. We have two different tiers on our membership, and on the tier called the Run the Ship we have exclusive courses and tutorials, we have members only group calls, and also Canva and ChatGPT templates. I'm pretty sure it already happened to you that you went to the Canva library searching for a brand logo. Let's say YouTube's logo, Udemy's logo, or Skillshare. Let's take, for example, YouTube's logo. Let's go to Elements and let's search for YouTube logo, hit enter, and then when I go to graphics, I see icons and some buttons that say subscribe, but I don't really see the real original YouTube's logo. We have an icon or illustration here that says YouTube, but it's not the real logo. Let's say that we need to create a design where we see YouTube's logo. Let me show you a Canva app that helps you fetch these logos for you. You're gonna go to Apps and search for Brand Fetch. This is the app that you are looking for, so click on it to open it, and then you are going to enter the brand name or the URL in here. So let's say that I want to find YouTube's logo, so I'm gonna type YouTube. You're gonna see a list of suggested brands, so I'm gonna go for the first one. This is the one that I need, and then you will see that you have the different YouTube logos and icons in here. When you click on any of the logos, they will automatically appear on your project. You also have access to the brand colors and some images. Let me close this search and let's try another brand. We have courses on Udemy and Skillshare, and to promote these courses we sometimes need Udemy's and Skillshare's logos. So let's type Udemy. I can already see it here, so I'm gonna click, and then as you can see I have access to the logos, and with just one click I have the logo on my project. I also have access to the colors and some images. Now let's search for Skillshare and see what do we have in here. Okay, this is the one that I need. We have the three different logos, so I'm gonna go for the first one. Here I have Skillshare, and as always you have the colors and images related to the brand. There is a recent update in Canva that is going to be super useful if you use frames all the time. Let's go to Elements, and from here, let's scroll down until you see Frames. Click See All so you can view all the frames in here, and then go to Basic Shapes. If you work with any of these basic shape frames, you will be able to adjust the ratio or the size of these frames. Let me show you. Let's go for the round frame right here, and let's say that for this design I don't need a round shape, but something that looks like an oval. So I'm gonna go and play around with the width, and like this I can have an oval shape. Now I'm gonna bring again this round frame because I want to create a different oval shape. I'm gonna adjust the height, and now I have another oval. You can play around with the other frames that you see here. So let's say, for example, this star, you can adjust its height or its weight, and you have all of these frames right here to play around with. Now let me insert some images into the frame so you can see that the image still looks fine even though you have played around with the width or the height of the frame. Now let me go back and open the photo library and insert some photos on my new frames. And in here, I mentioned the basic shapes because from the basic shapes, you can adjust the size of all of these frames right here. But if you go back, you will see that there are some other categories like film and photo, devices, paper, and so on. If you select one of these frames right here, they may not have this option or this feature activated. So let me show you, for example, this tablet frame. As you can see, we are not able to adjust the ratio of this frame. We can only increase or reduce its size, but it will have the same ratio. And if you were to go for one of these paper frames, you will see that it is the same case. But there are some other frames hidden here and there that they can actually be modified. Like for example, this one right here, and we have some other flower shapes that can be adjusted. So I would say that it's up to you to go and play around with these frames to discover which ones can be adjusted. I know that you can adjust the size of the letters and numbers as well. With the new update that I mentioned in the previous tip, Canva also included another feature that I'm sure you guys are going to love. This one is also related to frames, so let's go to Elements and add a couple of frames into this project. So let's go to Frames, and I'm going to add a letter and also a star. Why not? Okay, let's go for the letter right here. When you select a frame, you will see that on the toolbar you have now this button called Border Style. When you click here, you will be able to add a border to your frame. And you have different styles of borders. You can select a continuous one, or you have these other three options here. I'm gonna go for the continuous line, and then you will see that you can adjust the border weight, you can make it thicker, and then this other option I really love because you will be able to adjust the corner rounding. So pay attention to the corners of this letter. These corners are very sharp, but when I move the slider to the right, you will see that the look of the letter frame start to look a little bit softer, and this is because the corners are rounded. Let me show you with this star. I'm going again to border style, adding a border. So I think this border looks nice. And then I'm also going to round its corners. And there is something else that I haven't mentioned here, and it is that you can change the color of this border. So every time that you add a border to your frame, you will see a new button appearing here. If you don't have any borders activated, you will see that this one will disappear. But when you add a border to your frame, you then have the option to change its color. So you can go for a solid color or a gradient. Now let's add some images into these frames. Tip number 5 is going to save you a lot of frustration. I know that this has happened to you already. Let's say that you have a frame on your design. This frame is behind this element right here, and I want to have this cloud over this cute puppy. But every time that I bring this cloud image in front of the frame automatically takes it inside. But that's not what I want. I want to keep this puppy picture there and then have the cloud on top. So how do we fix this? You're gonna take your cloud, and at the same time as you are moving or dragging this element or picture on top of the frame, you are going to hold Control, or if you are using a Mac, hold Command. This will allow you to move any photo, image, or video in front of the frame without the frame cropping it. I'm gonna show you a simple trick that you can follow completely free to be able to create this wavy text effect. We're gonna start by adding 2 text boxes. So I'm gonna hit the key T to bring a text box to my design. So I'm gonna type here wavy, and then I'm gonna duplicate this text box and type effect. Now select the first text box and go to effects. From here, click curve, and we are going to move this slider a little bit to the left. We don't want this curve to be so closed, so let's leave it to 42, and then we are going to select the second text box, go again to curve, and this time we are moving the slider crossing this middle point right here. I'm gonna go to 42 as well, and then we just simply need to move this text box slightly down. And as simple as that, you can recreate this wavy text effect on your designs. This is very trendy right now, so I cannot wait for you guys to try it out. One of the common blockers designers have when starting a new design is knowing which font combination to use. I have a little trick that you can use to solve this problem. You're gonna click on the text icon that you see on the left panel, scroll down a little bit, and then you will find a bunch of font combinations. The first options, these are available for Canva Pro users. You will see this little label right here with the crown, but if you continue to scroll down, there are some options that are completely free to use. So if you want to work with any of these font combinations, simply click on the one that you like to bring it to your design. In here, you will see that there are 2 different text boxes, and if you move this text box, the other one will be attached. But if you want to move them separately, you can click on group, and then you will be able to do so. What I like about these font combinations is that some of them already have text effects, like for example this one right here. You will see that this one has a neon effect. So let me change the color of the background to black so you can see more of this neon effect. So I would say that this section called font combinations is more of a font templates section. And let me show you something cool here, because I mentioned the wavy text effect in the previous tip and I showed you the do-it-yourself version, but if you continue to scroll down, you will see that there is a font template or font combination down there, which is this one, and this one has already this wavy effect applied. If you click on any of the words, you will see that there is one text box here and another one here. And if you want to customize the text, you simply need to double click and change the text. If you see that this effect is not looking quite right and you need to adjust it, simply click on group and adjust the position of the 2 text boxes. There is a simple, very simple trick in Canva that will allow you to create more cohesive designs. I have all of these elements on my page right now, and I want them to have more cohesive colors. How do you do this? You are going to select the element that you want to change the color to. So let's say this arrow here, and then go to color. And then you're going to scroll down until you see a section called photo colors. Canva here is creating a color palette based on the image that you have on your page. So let's say that I want to choose this color here, and then for the background, let's go for the gray, or I could go for another of these brown colors. So now, instead of having black and white on my design next to this image, I now have colors that go really well with the image that I have on screen. I know that this is a basic trick, but I also know that many Canva beginners are watching this video. So I would like to know if you already knew about this feature. Did you know that you can create amazing mockups for free in Canva? Well, let me show you how to do it. You're gonna go to apps and search for mockups. Open this app right here and then browse through this library to find a mockup that you like. You will see some mockups that look more like frames, but you will see some other mockups that look very, very realistic and professional. Let's say that I want to create a mockup that showcases our YouTube channel. I'm gonna go for this one right here. You can see that there is a laptop, so I can insert the screenshot of our YouTube channel here. So let me increase the size first. And now I'm going to our channel to take the screenshot. I'm taking a screenshot here. Now going back to Canva. Now, the next step is to insert your image. You're gonna drag and drop any image into the mockup, and then they say the easiest way to do this is from the Uploads tab. So I'm going to Uploads, and I'm going to upload the screenshot of our YouTube channel. Now that the image is fully uploaded, I can simply drag and drop the image into the mockup, and just in a couple of seconds I have my mockup ready. You see that the screenshot that I just created is now inserted into this photo. There is a new Canva app that will allow you to generate more creative designs. Go to Apps and search for CanWave. This is the app that I'm talking about. Click on it to open it, and then from here you can create these amazing wave illustrations. It's really awesome because from here you can select the wave type, so you can go for solid, gradient, or just line. You will see a preview of this wave illustration that you are creating, and then you can select the shape of these waves. So you can go for curved or pointy. I'm going for curved, and then you can also change the number of layers of this illustration that you are creating. I'm going for 4 layers. You can then change the color. In this case, because we are using a gradient, we have the option to add 2 different colors. I'm gonna leave them as they are. You can also adjust the gradient angle, complexity, and height variations, so you can play around with this. And when you're ready, you can add to design. You can then stretch these elements, and I also want to show you that this is actually a vector element, so you can stretch it out really, really big, and it will still look very crisp. You can also adjust the colors from here. So if you decided that you don't want to use this purple color right here, but you want to use a green color, you can do it as well. This is a very simple solution if you have a design that looks very, very plain and you want to add a spicy touch to it. I think this can really help you out. Like for example, this right here. I only have one element in the background that I just generated, and if I wanted, I can only add some text on top of it. I could change the color of the text to white, and now we have a very professional looking design with just 2 simple elements, the waves in the background and 1 simple text box. Now I'm going to show you an easy trick for you to be able to create this effect that you see on the screen at the moment. So I don't know if you are able to see, but whenever I move my photo, the text is still visible, but with this hollow effect. Let's create this together. Let's start by adding some elements to the screen. So I'm adding a gradient to the background. Now I'm gonna add a text box. So I'm gonna add here, let's say that this time I'm going to type just text effect. I'm going to change the color to white. And now let's add a photo. You can add a photo of yourself, or you can also use the Canva library. I'm using this cutout photo here. This one is completely free to use. So I'm gonna position this lady somewhere here. And then I'm going to take this text box behind. So go to position, click to back, make sure that you are under arrange. And now I'm going to duplicate this text box. I'm going to make sure that these two text boxes are aligned to middle and center. Now select the text box on top and go to effects. Now you're going to select the style called hollow, and that's it. You will see that you will be able to move this photo on your design and still having some of the text visible on top of her, which is hollow, and a solid text on the other part of the design. Now let me show you how this design should look like on your end if you go to position. So go to position, and instead of arrange, go to layers. You should see something like this. You will see your background, you will see then the solid text box, you will see the photo, and then on top of everything you will see this hollow text box. Like this, every time you move your photo, this photo is actually in between the two text boxes, and that's what allows us to create this cool text effect. Here's a 45-day free trial of Canva Pro in case that you want to try it out, and I'm leaving here another video with more tips and tricks that you will love. I think this is it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!